From Volunteer TV, this is Local 8 News.
Dozens of people in West Knox County without power for hours after an early morning crash.
Also, health experts here in East Tennessee answering your questions about Ebola. We'll have the latest from the forum yesterday.
And we're looking at ways to protect your pets after an Oak Ridge shelter has a second outbreak of distemper.
Local 8 News this morning starts now.
Good morning, 5:57 now. I'm meteorologist Heather Haley. We have shifted that breeze around as expected. We've got that cool airflow now from the north, having a big impact on your morning lows, how it feels for you all day. So really, all in all, we've got chilly air continuing. We have some scattered clouds for parts of our area this morning. It will be a beautiful sunny day. Right now, 45 in Knoxville, our low so far. We already have some in the upper 30s. Now, it does feel several degrees colder right now, and it will throughout the day because of the chilly northerly breeze. 50 degrees by 11, 60 will be your high. So we're below normal temperatures all day long. But at least it will look good. Just don't forget that breeze. Anything you've got a good jacket that'll block out that wind will do you some good this morning, especially.
Oh yeah, it's at that point where it kind of just cuts through your layers.
Yeah. All right, well, good morning, everybody. The time now is 5:58. We've made it to Wednesday. You've made it to Wednesday. And I'm Marco Villarreal.
I'm Erin Barnett. Thanks so much for being with us. And we do want to get right to your news. Melissa Lee giving us a sneak peek of what's ahead.
Yep, coming up, our guest is in with details on a brand new campaign that's promoting breast cancer awareness. Plus, if you're still looking for a group Halloween costume.
Oh, yes.
We need one. Your spouse,
yeah, I was going to say, right here is the group.
Us, your group of friends. We can help you out with that.
All right, good information coming your way there. But first, let's talk about an early morning wreck that happened out in West Knox County. It has left dozens of people in the dark for hours. Now, that crash happened near the intersection of South North Shore Drive and Chota Road just after 1 a.m. A car crashed into a utility pole, knocking down a wire. A second car coming up behind it then got involved when it drove over some downed power lines. No one was hurt, and 30 people ended up losing power for hours while the scene was cleared out.
Also learning much more about a house fire in the Temple Acres area of the Halls community. We know that someone drove by and saw the flames coming out of a bedroom. In the bedroom window that was. Several rooms even damaged, while investigators, they're still looking for a cause. All the home smoke detectors we know were working, and the family was able to get out safely.
Dozens of cars have been broken into over the past few weeks in Blount County, and this morning we're showing you how to protect your property. The latest set of 20 break-ins happened in early yesterday morning. All these reports came from the Littlebrook and Fox Trace subdivisions off of Old Knoxville Highway. The first set of 20 break-ins happened in late September. Those cars were in the Druid Hills area. Now, Blount County has set up a crime hotline for information at 273-5200 if you know anything about who may have done this. One thing many of the cars did have in common is that they were unlocked. And aside from locking your doors, in our next half hour, Melissa Lee, she's got some advice from deputies on other ways to keep your possessions safe.
And Kentucky State Police, they arrested 4 people earlier this week after troopers found ingredients to make meth in the bed of their truck. On Monday afternoon, a trooper had pulled over a truck in Corbin, Kentucky, and in the bed of the truck, there were 2 backpacks with ingredients to make meth. And these guys right here, Brian and Casey Smith, along with Pamela Hensley and Anthony Martin, all facing multiple drug charges. And we are keeping an eye on your health this morning. Yesterday was a big chance for East Tennesseans to get some answers to some questions you might have had about Ebola, what it is and what it isn't.
And medical professionals from across the area all came together to answer those questions about the deadly virus.
Local 8 News reporter Kyle Warnke breaks down what East Tennesseans did learn yesterday's forum.
It seems everyone has an opinion on Ebola, and everyone has a different answer for how to fight it.
A common goal, the well-being of East Tennessee.
But Tuesday night, a panel of 17 medical experts answered questions about the disease that seems to be at the forefront of everyone's mind.
It's nice to have people who have really dealt with this, that know what they're talking about, that can answer some questions and can tell you what's dangerous and what's not.
Doctors assured that while Ebola is dangerous, it's surprisingly easy to destroy.
It's not hard to kill if it's on a surface, just a very dilute solution of bleach, common ordinary bleach, 1 part of bleach to 9 parts water.
Dr. Martha Buchanan from the Knox County Health Department explained what to do.
Informing folks before you go there is really important.
If by chance somebody in East Tennessee has Ebola, she says your first step should be to call the health department so they can call the hospital.
So you don't just show up on the doorstep and they're not prepared for handling that, keeping others safe and taking proper care of you.
But most importantly, doctors say East Tennessee is ready to fight Ebola. This forum is evidence of that. And if we do see it here, every hospital here knows how to fight it.
We've gone through a lot of training and processes from all hospitals in the region to make sure that we are as good or better than anybody else in the country.
Which is exactly the news Woody Hilliard showed up to hear.
I think it's refreshing to see the community come together, put the political differences aside, and discuss things in a sane and rational way. And
in Knoxville, Kaya Warnke, VLT, Local 8 News.
And during the discussion, someone did ask if any of the doctors were worried about Ebola here in East Tennessee. They say at the end of the day, it is a very serious disease, but there is a very slight risk anyone here would catch it. And you'll find more information on this and other Ebola stories on local8now.com.
Tracking crime in your neighborhood. 6 months pregnant, Taylor Huff says she's just happy her baby is okay after she was robbed at gunpoint. This happened last Wednesday. She heard something at the back door. Then 2 men rushed in with a gun, gathered up jewelry, cash, and safe.
That's the only thing on my mind, you know. Oh, that's the only thing I screamed at them is, I'm pregnant, please don't shoot me.
Now, Huff says she recognized the suspects. Athens police have arrested Joseph Kibadou, and they're still looking for Andra Candidate.
Well, no, Knoxville attorney Bruce Poston died in a car crash, and deputies say he was speeding and not wearing a seatbelt. And that's when he hit a tree on North Shore Drive. And when the car caught fire, several people tried to put out the flames, 2 others pulling Poston from the car. According to his law firm's website, Poston has argued in 150 jury trials, and that many included high-profile cases. But Poston was awaiting trial himself. TBI agents believe Poston illegally delivered painkillers to someone on 3 different occasions.
Well, Sevier County deputies say that 50 pit bulls were bred to fight. Now 3 people are waiting a verdict while the dogs are in protective custody. A 4-month investigation that led to the arrest of a husband, wife, and their son, 47-year-old Mark Heatherly, is charged with the dogfighting. His wife, Kimberly, and son, Jacob, they're charged with conspiracy to commit dogfighting. Video of the raid shows 42 of the dogs chained up around the property. The dogs also had scars from what appear to have been previous fights.
From a puppy that is maybe 24 to 28 inches long, 18 inches tall, all the way up to a full-grown pit bull that completely encompass your entire property, they're probably not raising pets.
When a verdict is reached, the Humane Society will be working to get those dogs into some safe homes. Well, canine distemper is deadly for dogs, and for the 2nd time this year, the Oak Ridge Animal Shelter is now dealing with an outbreak.
And this morning, we're looking at why it is spreading so easily. Also, what you need to know to keep your dog safe. Very important information here. We know that Oak Ridge Police Captain Robin Smith says that they don't have a way to screen dogs for the disease before they're brought in, and they vaccinate every animal that comes into the shelter. The problem is the vaccination takes just about 2 weeks before it is effective. The shelter does not have the space to quarantine new dogs for that long.
Unfortunately, there are what we call subclinical infections, which means that the dog is infected and may be spreading virus, but isn't actually showing symptoms.
All right, when it comes to keeping your dog safe, here's some information for you. The virus we know spreads through the air. It does not need physical contact, so watch over the dogs that you interact with or let your dogs interact with. Your dogs can also catch it from wild animals as well, even if they ate or drank from an outdoor bowl. At 6:05, we remind you if you ever have a story idea or maybe you just want some questions answered, head over to our Facebook page and let us know through My Story. You can post some information there or email mystory@wvlt-tv.com. Don't forget to check out our Local 8 app. You can download that right on your phone. More information on local8now.com.
Well, law enforcement officials are looking at the computers and talking to the friends of 3 teenage Colorado girls. They were picked up in Germany over the weekend when authorities suspected they may have been trying to join Islamic fighters in Syria. The 3 Denver area teen girls told their parents that they were going to Turkey to study, but the FBI believes their ultimate goal was to join ISIS. 2 are sisters of Somali descent, the other Sudanese. While the FBI investigates, all 3 are back with their parents and no charges have been filed.
I was shocked because according to our prediction, we thought that the boys was easy target. To our surprise, the girls were easy target.
Investigators believe they are likely impressionable young girls who were caught up in the moment after possibly being influenced by terrorist propaganda. Well, directly following Local 8 News, a look inside ISIS through the eyes of a teenager. Only on CBS this morning, Holly Williams is speaking with a 15-year-old who says he was forced to fight with the Islamic militants.
All right, a break from news, time for coffee talk, and we are talking about winning because all we do is win, no matter what.
Song? That's the song, right? Okay. Not as cool as that.
So we're asking about trophies.
Yes.
If you've ever received or won a trophy for something.
It took me a while to get any trophy.
A lot of mine are participation trophies.
Are they? A blue ribbon. Here you go. Yeah, it was probably college before I got my first trophy. I don't know. I would rather just have a good time with everyone than actually compete really hard, I guess.
Yeah, what about you, Heather?
I was still in diapers when I got my first trophy.
Oh, you told us about this yesterday. This is funny.
Okay, no, this really is. This is actually one of my favorite stories my mom's ever told. I won first place in the baby diaper derby. Apparently, I think this was even in the mall here in Knoxville area, but they were putting babies down at a starting line and having them crawl to the finish line. But my mom likes to say that the only reason I won is because my nanny, my grandmother, was at the finish line. Everybody else was waving bottles and toys at the children to get them to the finish line. Nope, a beeline straight for my grandmother. So, you know, there's a good bond when even a baby is willing to race to get that first place. I have a little tiny trophy at my parents' house with a little bronze baby bottom. But yes, baby diaper derby, that's my claim to fame.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. A campaign raising breast cancer awareness launched this month, and designer Patricia Nash joins me this morning with all the details. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Patricia, okay, so you are a designer here in Knoxville.
Yes.
You have some of your beautiful handbags and accessories from your collection. Tell us why you decided to launch this campaign.
Well, I've been out in the stores a lot, retail stores, talking to people about the brand, and met a lot of women that mothers and daughters or grandmothers and granddaughters that had a real connection with this old world craftsmanship on bags. And I started being exposed to a lot of great stories, and some which led me to, you know, health issues and so forth, where they really got each other through those tough times.
So you've heard a lot of survivor stories.
Yes. I've heard some out there, and I wanted to explore how many there were. And we've always been a part of breast cancer awareness, but I thought, why couldn't I give them that trip they always dreamed of, or that time together to go explore the world?
Absolutely. So with this campaign, it's called the Carry Me Through campaign. You guys are allowing moms and daughters, aunts and nieces, grandmothers and granddaughters. What are you guys allowing them to do?
We want to hear their story, their survival story of what they went through, and then have a trip to Italy for them, where the two could go and explore this old world and enjoy those moments together that they only dreamed they could do.
Sounds amazing. And before we wrap things up, where can folks at home go to submit their inspirational stories?
PatriciaNashDesigns.com, and there it's a banner right on the front, and it'll lead you to the entry form.
Okay, and where can our folks at home find these purses?
You can find it at our local West Town Mall Dillard's. We've got a great selection there. That's a super place to go.
Well, great. Thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more news and weather after this.
Hey Heather, good morning. Well, so far we're doing pretty well locally. We had a wreck we talked about earlier on 75 northbound, a little bit south of Raccoon Valley Road. Apparently, they have to shut down one lane to help clear that one up. Also, they had one earlier. I saw some flashing lights along I-40 and 640 east of the city. But that should do it for now anyway. No serious crashes blocking the main or secondary to start your Wednesday morning. I'm Pete Michaels, pilot VLT Local 8 Traffic.
All right, thank you so much, Pete. Obviously some good news so far. Hopefully we'll keep it that way. It is now time for your Ask Heather segment. Every Wednesday morning, I'll pick a question that you've sent me. Actually, Albert Wayman emailed me because he wanted to know about how the airflow in our region actually can help to bring pollution in from other states. Well, first off, the airflow can bring in a lot of things. The particles can include pollution. It also can be allergens. You know, that lovely pollen count we deal with a lot? Well, that also contributes to this, because what we have here is we've got obviously variations in terrain surrounding our region. We've got a little bit bump up in elevation from the valley to the plateau, valley to the mountains of eastern Kentucky, of course even more so valley to the Smokies and on into the Appalachian region, on into North Carolina. So the airflow depends on wind speed, it depends on direction as to what exactly we're bringing in. Here's a great topographic map from the National Weather Service, which just really kind of highlights exactly what we're looking at here as far as those elevations go. First off, you've got your lower elevation right here in the valley. So if you get a good southerly flow or southwesterly flow in air, I mean, it's completely unimpeded. It's able to flow straight into the valley. So if it's carrying any sort of particles, pollutants, pollen, whatever it may be, it could travel straight in and just kind of settle in if it doesn't have a strong enough wind to then travel up and over any of the higher elevations surrounding the valley. Along the same lines, if something is traveling from the west or northwest, it does have some variations really in elevation to deal with. So as it meets this change in topography, this can either slow down a wind and then make it even settle some particles into the valley. It can just kind of change the pattern here just a bit, and then it would need extra strength to make it up and over the Smokies. Along the same lines, if it's coming from the east-southeast especially, it would take a really strong wind to get up and over the Appalachian Mountains into East Tennessee. So along those lines, that's actually what we even call mountain waves, because literally that causes those strong wind gusts to finally get over these mountains and then kind of dump into the foothills. So that can bring really a lot of particles and send them straight into the foothills along the Smokies. So yes, the airflow around our region can bring in some particles, pollution, pollen, but it all depends on the direction and the wind speed to get it here.
All right, now for your news up to the minute you wake up, and we start with some amazing video out of China.
This is incredible. A group of people actually got stuck, as you can see here, in an elevator. Take a look. This was in the basement. They were faced with a brick wall. One of the men even had a hammer, so they just started to chisel the way out.
Finally, they got this hole big enough. They were able to push a small guy out of that little hole so that he could then run and go get help. And
that is my biggest fear. I have a huge phobia of that.
Crazy. This next video here, it's not an action-packed movie or comic book movie. It's a brawl. It's just a fight on the streets of Hollywood.
Is that Where's Waldo?
That's Waldo getting up in the
middle.
Now,
witnesses said that the two Captain Americas, Spider-Man, threw punches at each other even.
And you can even see Chewbacca comes in there trying to step in and break things up. And
is this real life?
He growled. He was like, "Urgh."
Unbelievable. One of the actors said that the tensions were high because the other characters have been demanding tips from tourists. So this really is characters just going at it.
Yeah, if you head out there, you'll see all those guys trying to take a picture with you and asking for a tip. So interesting. Hey, a couple in Iowa. This is fantastic news. Kind of shocking, but fantastic news at the end of the day. They were pretty shocked to find out they were having a baby after the woman went into labor.
Unbelievable. This mom she'd walked into the ER Monday morning, had no idea, she says, that she was even pregnant. Well, less than full term and ready to deliver. The big shock due to the father's medical history. 5 years ago, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and he's gone through extensive treatment. He was told that he'd probably never become a father. Then all 7 pounds, 14 ounces arrived to the scene. Their amazement and, well, confusion.
I'm still in disbelief. You know, part of me is so excited and so feel so blessed, and part of me is like, really?
I didn't have the weight gain. I didn't have the nausea. I didn't have, none of the morning sickness.
Now that dad, he's kind of known as a practical joker. So when he first got on social media saying, "Hey, we got a baby now," he had a lot of friends texting, "Best joke ever."
Yeah, if he's a practical joker, I can see that. No joke though, baby right there.
Right there in his arms.
So cute.
And finally, something that I've been waiting years to see. Think back to the Future on this one. A California company has finally created hoverboards.
We have been waiting
for so long. Check it out. This is the Hindo hoverboard. The technology was originally meant to prevent buildings from collapsing during an earthquake. Well, it works on the same principle if you try to push 2 magnets with the same charge together.
All right, though, it's expensive. $10,000 is the price tag. Let's go in on it together.
I think I could sell a kidney for a hoverboard.
We'll be right back to the future. Certainly bundle up. At 6:30, we're getting your news started. I'm Aaron Barnett. Good morning to you.
And I'm Marco Villarreal, and this is your news up to the minute you wake up.
And we are getting the latest on an early morning crash. This was over in West Knox County. We know dozens of people were in the dark for hours because of it. It happened near the intersection of South North Shore Drive and also Chota Road just after 1 a.m. One car crashed into a utility pole, knocked down a wire. A second car got involved when the driver drove down over the downed line. No one was hurt, but 30 people again lost power for hours while that scene was all cleared up. LCUB workers tell us that power should be back on in that area.
We're also learning more about a house fire in the Temple Acres area of the Hulse community. Somebody drove by, saw flames coming out of a bedroom window. Several rooms were damaged while investigators now look for a cause. All of the home's smoke detectors were working and were able to let the family get out safely.
Tracking crime in your neighborhood this morning, Kentucky State Police, they arrested 4 people this week. Troopers had found ingredients to make meth in the bed of their truck. This was Monday afternoon when a trooper pulled over the truck in Corbin, Kentucky. In the bed of the truck were 2 backpacks, including those meth-making materials. Now Brian and Casey Smith, along with Pamela Hensley and Anthony Martin, they're all facing multiple drug charges.
40 car burglaries in just a few weeks. Now deputies over in Blount County, they want you to be careful. The latest set of 20 break-ins happened in the early morning yesterday. All the reports came from the Littlebrook and Fox Trace subdivisions, and those are off Old Knoxville Highway. The first set of 20 break-ins happened back in late September, and those cars were in the Druid Hills area. If you have any information about these break-ins, please call the crime hotline right there on your screen. That number, 865-273-5200. There was one thing that all the cars had in common, and Local 8 News anchor Melissa Lee, she's live outside of our studio with a look at how you can keep your belongings safe from criminals.
Yeah, guys, one of the things that all the vehicles had in common was that they were all unlocked. Now, deputies say one of the easiest things you can do to try and prevent that from happening to you is make sure you lock your doors. And obviously there are some other tips that you can use to try and protect yourself from being burglarized. One is don't leave your valuable items in your car, especially purses. A lot of times, ladies, we like to leave our stuff in plain view right in the front seat. And deputies say not to do that. Take it in with you wherever you're going. Stick it in your trunk if you need to, but definitely don't leave your valuable items and your handbags inside your car. Also, you want to make sure that your vehicle is parked in a well-lit area. And lastly, if you notice a suspicious vehicle parked in your neighborhood or you see some suspicious activity, you definitely want to call 911 and let the officials know. Reporting just outside of our studios here in Knoxville, Melissa Lee, VLT, Local 8 News.
All right, now we want to turn to today being the first day on the job for President Obama's newly appointed Ebola czar. And good news for American cameraman being treated for Ebola. He's being released from a Nebraska medical center with a clean bill of health. Now, one of the 2 nurses who contracted the virus while treating the first patient diagnosed with Ebola in the U.S. also got some good news as well. Doctors treating Nina Pham upgraded her condition from fair to good. Today, President Obama does meet with his newly appointed Ebola czar, Ron Klain.
Have been some shortcomings in the response, and the president has been pressing on his team for quite some time now to ensure that our response lives up to the high standards that he has set for his team in service of the American people.
All passengers arriving in the U.S. from 3 West African nations must now enter through one of 5 airports where travelers will have their temperatures checked for signs of fever. That might indicate Ebola infection.
Well, it was a chance to clear the air for East Tennesseans and to learn exactly what Ebola is and what Ebola isn't. Medical professionals from across the area, they came together Tuesday afternoon to answer questions about the deadly virus. 17 experts talked about the virus, updated the public on the latest developments, and let people ask them about different scenarios in which Ebola could present itself here in East Tennessee. Several people said the forum was very helpful in their understanding of the disease.
So it's nice to have people who've really dealt with this, that know what they're talking about, that can answer some questions and can tell you what's dangerous and what's not.
Now, during the course of the discussion, someone asked if any of the doctors were worried about Ebola. They say, at the end of the day, it's a very serious disease, but your risk of catching it is very slim.
Well, Lane Kiffin left East Tennessee high and dry, and politicians now using him and his reputation to take down their opponents. A new political ad is comparing a state representative to the former UT football coach. Knoxville voters in the 13th House District are receiving this ad you see right here in their mailboxes. It compares current state rep Gloria Johnson to the infamous Lane Kiffin. The ad was put out by Tennessee Federation for Children PAC, and that endorses Johnson's Republican opponent, Eddie Smith, who says he only heard about the ad Monday night. The ad says that Johnson, like Kiffin, is all talk, making promises without any action. And while Smith says he didn't put out the ad, he disagrees, or agrees actually, with some of its counterpoints.
Rather than being a representative, she's more of an activist when she gets to Nashville.
They're accusing me of something there's just no basis in fact.
And Johnson and Smith are competing for the 13th House District, that November election happening soon.
All right, meanwhile, Butch Jones and his Tennessee Vols are continuing to get ready for Saturday's game against Alabama, 5th-ranked Alabama, too.
Yeah, after the game, be sure to tune in. We remind you to our weekly Sunday morning show, The Extra Point. You can tweet us comments, hashtag #VolsExtraPoint, and you'll be eligible to win tickets to the UT Kentucky game that Sunday morning, again, 10 a.m. right here, and actually on MyVLT. So check it out. It's a good show.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to see what they're talking about, and it's a recap of the night before. So
you get a lot of good information and perspective following up on the game. All right, every year we know that giant Power T appears on the lawn at McGee-Tyson Airport, and this is all thanks to hundreds of volunteers.
Local 8 News reporter Whitney Kent showing us now who's behind the work of this team spirit.
I'm here in Blount County, and we're talking about the Big Orange Trash Bash. It's a tongue twister, but it's an amazing thing that they do, and they're actually setting it up right here at McGee-Tyson Airport. And I have Caitlin here to tell us a little more. Why does the airport get involved with something like this?
Well, here at McGee-Tyson Airport, we do understand that we are kind of the front door or the front lawn in this sense for our travelers to come to East Tennessee. So this is just a great opportunity for us to set up our trash, show that we are helping to keep Blount beautiful, and it is a great way to show our spirit as well.
I love that, because the first thing people see when they fly in is the Power T.
It's a big T of trash, yes. So it's a great way, and especially this year, you know, we all want to beat Alabama, so this is just a great way to show that we're all volunteers and that we all have a great spirit.
Right. And all of this trash in these trash bags, it's actual trash, right?
Yes, it definitely is. You can smell it. It's trash, yes.
Thank you so much. And of course, this is all set up here on the lawn at McGee-Tyson Airport, so come and check it out. Reporting in Blount County, I'm Whitney Kent, VLT, Local 8 News.
All right, 6:37. We want to check in with our eye in the sky, Pete Michaels. Pete, any problems out there this morning?
A couple of minor things. I'm circling Neyland Drive. It's second morning in a row. I'm trying to figure out what that big, bright, yellow-green light is in the middle of the stadium. I'm not sure. Maybe this is a problem with the grass or something there. Also, I'm not sure you can be able to pick this up or not, but just a shot in the dark here, so to speak. We're going to check Cumberland Avenue. I saw the fire department running down Cumberland Avenue by 17th Street, 18th Street, now 19th, so I'm not sure where they're going, but you see them running there live just as we see them. Cumberland Avenue approaching 21st. If we hear something more on that, we'll let you know right over the university. Let's take a look at a CDOT Smartway camera and tell you that outside of the range of cameras, they're mopping up a wreck on 75 northbound. That's going to be up at Raccoon Valley Road. All in all, visibility fantastic, and keep it right here. If something breaks, I'll be happy to give you an immediate update. I'm Pete Michaels, Pilot's Pilot, VLT, Local 8 traffic. Little nippy, Heather, but acceptable.
I was wondering if you had the heat going in the plane there, Pete. 6:38 now with your weather on the 8th. Thank you, Pete. We'll check back in with him shortly, and hopefully.
Do you think it's too early for snow, Marco?
Yes.
You're looking right now at Ober-Gatlinburg. Their snow magic machine starting to pump snow today. It's technology that allows the resort can make snow up to 70-degree weather, and this allows them to kind of get a jump start on the season.
Start putting a nice base of snow out there on the mountain. Can I borrow that from my backyard?
I know. Kyle Granger's going to be out there and have more on that later on, first at 4.
Good stuff. All right. Well, preteens and teens across East Tennessee, they're soon going to have a chance to sparkle and shine.
Yeah, there's a pageant just for young girls that's been created with special needs and giving them the opportunity to feel like a princess. And we are proud sponsors of this. I'm going to be emceeing a great event that's coming up just to make those girls feel special. That's really what it's all about. It's going to be the first of its kind for this year, and again, organized by Abby Riddendor. She's a young pageant girl herself who said, I've had this experience, but I want these girls with special needs to experience this as well.
Fantastic.
And the best part of all, they're all going to be winners. They're going to get tiaras, they're going to get sashes, flowers, they're going to have free dresses, evening gowns, and they'll even get free makeup and hair the night of the event.
Oh, so they're just, it's going to be all about them.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And they are, I mean, they're the beautiful ones, really.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So again, this is happening Saturday, November 15th at 3 p.m., and this is at the Grove Theater in Oak Ridge, correct?
Yeah, it's free to get in. Donations will be accepted for Second Harvest Food Bank. But again, just an experience to see these girls walk across the stage and just feel confident and happy. It's going to be so much fun. They do have only about 10 girls signed up so far. So this is why we're telling you about this early, because they need more contestants.
They need more princesses.
Yeah.
So
Do
you happen to know a princess?
If you know a young girl, they're looking for middle school, high school age. free to sign up, so just give them a call. All that information's on local8now.com. We love for more girls to get involved as well.
Awesome. Well, you're going to, again, find those details on the community page on local8now.com. Also, they need more dresses donated, correct?
Yeah, and they say they have formal dresses that have already been given, but they need plus-size dresses. They can be semi-formal. They don't have to be full-length gowns, but every little bit will help. All volunteers making this happen.
All right, perfect. Well, here, if you like princesses, and you probably have a favorite Disney princess as well, you can see some of them on ice. This is coming up here because you get a chance to win 4 tickets to see Disney on Ice coming up this November. All you have to do is go to local8now.com contest. A person is then selected each day and announced on Local 8 News at 4. Then on Friday, there's also a grand prize winner of 4 VIP tickets.
Yeah, and congratulations to our winner from yesterday, Candace West from La Follette, listening to, of course, a little Frozen music.
Morning, and thank you, Pete Michaels, up in the air this morning. Now, if you have kids, they've probably already picked out their Halloween costumes by now, and they can't wait to yell trick or treat in just less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you think back to being a kid. It was so much fun going door to door, getting the candy, even though my dad ate most of mine. It was still a good time, right?
Right, but what if your kids were told that they couldn't go trick-or-treating? Yeah, well, a small town in Canada has canceled this tradition because of polar bears.
It's crazy.
Yes, they issued a letter last week explaining trick-or-treating and other activities that normally take place outdoors will actually now have to take place indoors to make sure everyone is safe while still trying to have some fun. Polar bears have actually been intruding the area more in recent years, and that's according to CBC News.
Not that it's funny at all, but I like what Marco said earlier, that it was just the neighborhood kid.
It's just Timmy from down the road happening to have the best costume.
So funny.
All right.
All right, and speaking of Halloween, anyone going to a costume party this year?
My own costume party.
Are you inviting us? That's
sure,
the question.
if you can.
Do you guys have your costumes picked out?
I have an idea of what I think I'm going to go for.
I don't usually dress up, but...
Okay. Well, a lot of times it's hard if you're going with a group or maybe you're going with a significant other. It's hard to pick out what you guys are going to be together. But here's a look at some snazzy costumes. You guys can be Pac-Man and the Ghost, or if there's only 2 of you, one person can be a Dot.
Oh, that's good.
Now the characters,
that's easy enough.
There's some characters from the book Where the Wild Things Are, some other group costumes, Wizard of Oz, Ghostbusters, and the gang from Toy Story.
And I think Hillary Magosh, our reporter here, said that they're going to be doing Ghostbusters.
Oh, really?
They already had that idea. I think they're...
Yeah, and you guys have to head over to the Goodwill's Facebook page. They had a little boy, 2 little boys dressed up as Wayne's World characters yesterday.
How funny.
And they used stuff from the thrift store to make the costumes. They have a lot of ideas over
Wayne
there.
and Garth, right?
Yeah, it was
Party
great.
on, dude.
All right, a New Jersey mother. She has the $1 million chip idea, wasabi ginger. I think that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That's the winner of this year's Do Us a Flavor contest from Lay's Potato Chips. So there it is, wasabi ginger beat out other flavors, that's including cappuccino, cheddar bacon mac and cheese, and mango salsa. And you said you tried the mango salsa.
Yeah, the mango salsa was so good. But the cappuccino, that would just be kind of confusing to me. Like, what's going on?
The winner, she gets $1 million, or the portion of the sales if it's greater than $1 million. Not bad, huh?
All right, cranking up the music. We'll be right back with your news to go.
I think I would need a side
Now it's 6:57, and we are getting some breaking news into our newsroom about a pretty bad crash out there.
And we have team coverage this morning with Sherry Bigler and Pete Michaels both working on this. Sherry, what can you tell us so far about this?
Marco, we're just getting reports of this right here. It's going to be on 40 westbound, just a little bit east of James White. The report started coming in just a few minutes ago. We've not heard anything on injuries yet, but apparently a vehicle has run up under a tanker truck, and you can see here all of these flashing lights. Now, this is Pete Michaels, their very own Pete Michaels, flying over this, sending us this live video here, and doing a great job of trying to give us a real good picture of what exactly is going on down there. Some lane restrictions, I do know just a few minutes ago they did have that completely blocked off. That is once again 40 westbound, just a little bit east of James White, and apparently a vehicle has run up under a tanker truck. We do have a TDOT camera that shows a little bit different angle of this. Once again, that is Pete Michaels flying over there, sending us this video. We will keep you updated. Sherry Bigler, pilot's co-pilot for VLT Local 8 News.
pretty unbelievable video, as you can see there. Also, an early morning wreck over in West Knox County left a lot of people in the dark for hours without power. The crash happened near the intersection of South North Shore Drive and Choteau Road just after 1 a.m. One car crashed into a utility pole, knocking down a wire. A second car got involved when it drove over the downed power lines. No one was hurt, and about 30 people ended up losing power for several hours while the scene was cleared up.
All right, 6:58 now with your weather on the 8th. This morning, clear and chilly. I've already seen some reports of frost in the sheltered kind of nooks and crannies of our region. We'll see even more of that tomorrow morning. Sunshine, though, today will help us out to rebound from a cold morning, topping out around 60 degrees. So it'll look good, just a little cold. Right now, it's 43 in Knoxville and Morristown, 42 in Crossville, 39. Your low so far in Pigeon Forge. It does feel several degrees colder, so notice 43 in Knoxville. Clear, cool breeze. It feels like 40. Feels like 38 right now in Tellico Plains. 39 is your feels like, or your wind chill in Crossville and Pigeon Forge. 42 right now, Morristown. So again, tonight we're looking to be more into the upper 30s for everyone. This is what will contribute to some patches of frost. So if you got some plants you're worried about, you want to get them inside before the sun sets tonight, because that frost will really start taking shape early tomorrow morning. Sunshine the next couple of days, rebounding in temperatures by Friday.
And Aaron even felt that chill just now.
Oh, I know, with 38 there in Tellico Plains. Brr.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching Local 8 News this morning. We hope you have a fantastic day.
Yeah, Pete Michaels leaving us as a shot of a crash. We're going to have the latest for you on local8now.com and coming up in 25 minutes.